For those of you who are in the United States, I wish you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Mine was just amazing, and I ate too much. I am incredibly grateful for all the things that 2015 has brought for me. I look forward to every year and think about what I've achieved, my friends, my loved ones, and this has just been an amazing year. I've been filled with nothing but gratitude. So, um, so just in keeping with the Thanksgiving, the grateful, loving feeling, I just want to say, I hope that this year was everything that you wanted it to be. And let's look at making 2016 even better. So let's begin. This is, again, I'm Tanya Brown with Lorenza Brown Consulting. I help entrepreneurs create the fashion business of their dreams. I've been in the fashion industry for over 10 years, doing everything from production, sourcing, take off my glasses, production, sourcing, design, you name it, I've done it. My special talent is helping clients figure out their product, figure out their designs, not only take their concepts and help them get the samples made, find factories, find fabrics and trims, and do it in the best possible way, a way in which they're not overspending in any way, shape, or form. They're getting the best quality, and they're working with people who actually understand their needs. So you're looking at this because you basically are a fashionista and you want to create your fashion designs. And I want to talk to you about the 6 secrets that people don't focus on when they're trying to build the fashion line of their dreams. Now, you initially come up with a concept, an idea, and you have this great vision of what you want to do. But you're not thinking about who are your clients, who are you selling to. A lot of clients who actually do have amazing flat sketches or designs, ideas. And again, when you're looking to create your fashion line, like I said, you don't have to be, like, look at the Kardashians. You don't have to be talented when it comes to sketching, sewing, or draping, because you just need a vision. You just need an idea, and you need to be able to get it made. And that's where I come in. You look at the Kardashians as an example of a family that has multiple businesses, but they didn't go to school for fashion design. They didn't go to school for a lot of the things that their businesses are. They have people who are basically showing them how to create the fashions. Or at the end of the day, those people are doing the execution for them. So this is where it comes in. I'm going to, sorry, I kind of got lost for a second. I'm still in a food coma. So you have to think about who your client is. And as I was saying, that I have a lot of clients who do know how to sketch, and they'll come, and our first meeting, they'll show me their designs and their sketches. And, things are beautiful. There's so many talented people out there, and I'm so grateful to have the pleasure of working with them. The first thing that I'll say to them is, who's your customer? Who are you selling to? And this kind of takes them back, and they'll pause, and they're like, 9 times out of 10, their response is everybody. Your client's not everybody. Not everybody is the person you're selling to. You need to look at what you're doing and think of your idea, and think of who do you ultimately see your products on. Now, say you're doing activewear, and would you necessarily be putting this into the hands of somebody who doesn't go to the gym? I know Lululemon happens to sell a lot of product to Upper West Side moms, that they wear their items when they're dropping their kids off, and they don't necessarily go to the gym. But that wasn't their idea. Their idea was for women who are going to the gym and want fabulous outfits that can basically take them throughout their day. The fact that people who are not necessarily going to the gym but like to dress as if they are, wear them, that's just a bonus. But that's the thing. That's not necessarily where your focus is in terms of looking at everybody. If people who are not on your radar, your ideal client, ideal customer avatar, or your ideal client, if they happen to purchase your items, great. But you're not necessarily selling to them. You're selling to a specific group. And this comes in handy when you're designing, because when you're designing, you can stop and say, would my client wear that? And because you know deep down who your client is and what their needs are, you can speak to them and you can market to them, and it goes into the bigger picture. You can promote to them, you know where to find them. Because when you're designing or coming up with concepts, and I talk about this in some of my programs, it's not enough to have an amazing product. You have to know where your clients are. You have to be able to reach them. You could have the best things in sliced bread, but if you don't know where clients are hanging out or how to find them, then it's just kind of, you're like the best kept secret that nobody ever knew about. So this is the thing, knowing who your ideal customers are, knowing how to speak to them. And once you know who they are, you can design for them. You know, I have a client who, an ex-reality star. She was on a Jersey hair show, and her big thing was, because of her figure and her height, she was a model. She had a model figure. She was very tall and she had long limbs. And her thing was, you know, at her height, she could never find sleeves that were long enough, or pants or skirts that were long enough. You know, things didn't fall where they should be on her. So she wanted to come up with her 5 easy pieces, you know, leggings, tops, and so forth. She wanted to find items that worked for her silhouette. And that was what we did. But at the end of the day, she was her ideal client. She wasn't creating product for a petite gal. She was creating product for a woman who was statuesque like her in terms of the height and the silhouette, because that's who she was selling to. So she was looking in her closet at the things she needed and she wanted, because she was her ideal client. And a lot of times you could be your ideal client. There's nothing wrong with that. If you fit the mold of what you're looking for, then yes, you are your ideal client. You know, you are the person you're ultimately looking to sell to. I'm just saying, when it comes to creating product, you know, and you're thinking about who you're selling to, your end game, you're not selling to everybody. You're really not. So that's the thing I want you to focus on when you're designing, is think of the end game. You know, you're starting, you're coming up with your ideal vision, your product. Who's going to be wearing this? Whose hands it's going to be in? And this is relatable regardless of if you're doing fashion or, you know, stationery or jewelry or handbags. The process is the same. A woman had asked me a couple of weeks ago, she was like, I'm a jewelry designer. Is this appropriate for me? Yes, it is. The process is the same. The materials change, you know, whether you're using silk fabrics or sterling silver or leather materials or gemstones, it's all the same process. The products change, but the products change and the materials change, but the process does not change. So, and by the way, if you have any questions, feel free to type in your questions as we go along, because I'm happy to answer any of your questions. So the first thing like I said, the first thing you need to focus on is your ideal customer. And we kind of went through that. Now, also the idea of, you have a vision, you want to get it made, and you think to yourself, you're like, I'm not a sewer. You know, I'm not a sewer, I'm not a jewelry maker, I don't know how to put a handbag together, but I know what I want. That's the thing, you don't need to do that. You just need to have a vision and find someone who can put it together for you. And just to kind of go back for a minute, and I'll talk about this more in detail as we go through, but my 90-day boot camp is a week-to-week process where we take you through the step-by-steps, and this is live. And actually, at the end of this, I also have a bonus for you. This is live, and we take you step-by-step through the process. So you're in a private Facebook group, and you have access to me on these group live calls, as well as in these it's biweekly calls. Yes, it's biweekly calls. You have free access to me in the private Facebook group, and we're constantly in there answering questions. And we take you through the whole process. You know, in 90 days, we take you from your initial idea to actually getting a sample made. And you're saying to yourself, is that possible? Yeah, it is. It totally is. And I show you how to do it. So again, samples, getting samples made, you have a few options. You know, you can go to a production facility and get it made. You can have a sample maker make it for you. You know, the only differences is cost and availability. Regardless of where you are located, you can find people. And the same way that you're looking at me right now and listening to this is the way you find people. The wonderful world of the internet. I mean, I look up there like there's something on the ceiling. The wonderful world of the internet. You can find people to help you. So I talk, some of the things that I just want to share with you, that when you're getting samples made, always check references. And references are not a conversational thing. You could see the quality of what someone's done. You know, you can go to the factories and see what the factories are doing, what type of product they're doing. You can actually order some of their product to kind of see what the construction looks like, the details, because it's all in the details, you know. A good example, like if you go to an H&M, and I do love H&M. H&M owns their own factories. They're able to get that product out at that price point because they're controlling the production cycle. You're not paying the margin that the factory would charge a designer or, you know, the end client, because the retailer is buying it wholesale, like literally net. Now, just to kind of break that down for you, when you're working with a factory, you're dealing with the cost of materials, the trims, the SMV, which is stitch minute value, how long it takes them to make something. Your cost is dependent upon that aspect. Now, when I work with a lot of clients, there are ways in which you can get the prices down. And I go into detail about that regarding in the 90-day boot camp. But you can get your prices marked down, your prices lowered if you're doing higher volume. There's ways around that, though. One of the things, and we go into more detail about this in the course, but when a lot of people are very reticent to deal with production facilities because they think to themselves, you know what, I'm not a Macy's, I'm not a Bloomingdale's, I'm not a Walmart, I don't have those numbers to give a production facility. And the thing is, it doesn't matter, because a lot of production facilities, they have, I can't even write words out. They have their busy times and they have their slow times. And sometimes, depending upon timing, you may hit them during their slow times. And they just want to keep their lines busy and the sew lines busy. They want to keep their workers busy. Because when their workers are busy, they don't have to not let people go, but they don't have to send people home because there's no work. So it's always better for them to have the facility continuously running, so that when there are slow times or low times, you know, it's running. And then when the peak season, they still have the staff. So asking the question never hurts, because you don't know what's going to happen. You know, yes, there are some surcharges for having less than minimum quantity. But again, we go into this during the course on how you can get around this. There is no definitive no in certain instances, because a lot of times there's a gray area. They will work with you. There are table charges when you don't meet the minimums. Same thing with fabric. You can order, you know, fabric off the line or trims off the line, and you can get a specific deal. Or, you know, you can get closeouts when they're trying to move product, or when you're dealing with sterling silver or gemstones. They have, I have a guy, because I design jewelry, and I love doing it because it keeps the creativity flowing, even though I work with clients and help them with their creativity. But it just gives me something, to during my, not downtimes, but during my creative times. And I have a guy who's a gem guy. When he gets closeouts and he gets deals, he calls me because he knows that I love a bargain. So he'll contact me and I will go to my gem guy, and I know that the aquamarines or the smoky quartz, the crazy prices that he gives me, I'm not going to get again. I may never get that price again. So when I'm costing my items, I know to not factor that cheap price in. And case in point, this is when it comes to costing. When you are dealing with a really great deal, and you say to yourself, or even they will say to you, because a lot of these manufacturers will remind you continuously, and especially when you're not paying attention to it, that these prices are never going to happen again. And a lot of us will have a tendency to say, oh, I can get it for, say, $5. You'll think, oh, I can get it again for $5. And you price it based on the $5. But then the thing is, when you want to, just go get back into it, and you will, because it's going to blow out, it's going to do phenomenally. And you have customers that are begging you for when they can get a back order on this item. But then you go to the manufacturer and he says, for that style, for that, like using the gemstone, for that carat, that weight, it's not going to be $5, it's going to be $25. So if you price your items accordingly, you can ensure that not only you're making a deal at the $5, but you're also making a deal at the $25. You're still making the gross margin, the profit that you needed to make. Now that's the thing. When it comes to creating your own business and creating your own product, there's so many key things that you need to focus on. You need to focus on your ideal customer, who that person is, how to get your samples made, whether you're using a sample maker, you're using a production facility, where are you doing this, your materials, the cost structure, which I just spoke about, because that's so key. People don't focus on their costs. A lot of clients that I have that work on Etsy products, they have a tendency to not pay themselves. Especially when they make their own products, they have a tendency not to pay themselves. And that's the first thing that I dig in with them, is ensuring that they are not only paying themselves, but they're getting a profit. You have to look at everything when you're costing your items. Every single thing counts. When you are paying for, you ordered yards of fabric and the DHL package is $20. Did you actually factor that into the cost of the product? Probably didn't. If it took you 2 hours to make it, you probably didn't put in 2 hours into the cost of the item because you didn't pay yourself. If you're looking at this and you're saying to yourself that, well, I need to be competitive with the marketplace, you're absolutely right. You do, but you have to be competitive in the marketplace and you have to be profitable at the same time, because at the end of the day, when you're looking at your numbers and you don't see that you actually made any money, then that was just a wash. That was just an effort, exercise in futility, because you did well sales-wise, but financially speaking, yeah, not so much. So that's one of the things that we work on. We reverse engineer your costs. And in the 90-day boot camp, we ensure that you get all these things done and more. We figure out where you need to be and we back it out. Now I've got a song in my head going, back it out. We back it out. So we focus on who your customer is, getting your samples made, costing your items, so important. And then we also work on your time and action calendar. And you probably say to yourself, well, what the heck is that? Time and action calendar is a calendar in which we look at where you want to be. If you want your designs to be in stores by this date, what do you need to do in order to get it there? Lead times with the factories, lead times with the materials. All this plays into you're getting your goods into your hands to ship. So you look at the time and action to determine what that What are your lead times? Where's your go, no-go dates? So, and again, we go into the detail about this more in the 90-day course. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, well, the 90-day boot camp, what is this? Again, it's a live training. You get weekly emails, bi-weekly phone calls. We do group, it's a group course, and we do live calls that you can ask your questions, anything pertaining to your product or even your business. You know, we delve into it. A private Facebook group, and I should have water before this. Private Facebook group, which I'm in all the time, and I answer your questions. And all of this is for the price of $9.97. Now, that price ends on the end of the month, the 31st of this month, I believe. I think it's the 31st of November. I don't know if it goes to the 30th, but it's $9.97. And after that, the price goes up. The course starts the middle of January, and it continues for 90 days. And again, this is going to be a wonderful way for you to get started. And I know, here's the thing, it's like 2015, people went into this with so many resolutions, myself included. I always go into the year with resolutions, but a lot of people didn't make them happen. I remember speaking to a couple of people this year who, you know, started working with me, and their first thing they said was this was the year that I was not going to let the year pass me by without starting my business. So that's the thing. I want you to think about 2016. Imagine yourself. It's November 2016. If you're in the U.S., you just had an amazing, fattening Thanksgiving, and you're probably saying to yourself, "Okay, now it's go time for Black Friday deals." Selling to your customers, meeting your financial goals, and planning your next designs. Imagine this is your conversation with yourself in 2016. You're looking at the numbers of where you are financially in the year, how you sold, what did well, what didn't do well, and you're planning for the next year. How would that feel? Feels good, huh? You can make that happen. You really could. All you have to do is book now for the course. It starts in January. It's $9.97. The price goes up after November 31st because it's going to increase for the month of December. And by the way, there are payment plans available for those who are interested. So don't let this pass you by. You really don't want another year to go by without you putting your business goals in the forefront, because you know what? This year went by so quickly, and I don't know about you, but I felt like I blinked and it was gone. So here's the thing. I want you to have the business of your dreams, the life of your dreams, and the best year possible in 2016. And in any way, shape, or form that I can help you do that, I'm happy to. And this boot camp is for you. Not only do you get access to me and my 10 plus years of experience in the fashion industry, but you're around like-minded people who you can connect with and basically collaborate and connect. You never know. A lot of clients have connected at some of my in-person events where, they met their photographer that they needed, or they collaborated with, a jewelry designer who worked with a evening wear designer and on fashion shoots. So you never know who you're going to meet. You really don't. There was one other thing I wanted to tell you, and of course it escapes me because, again, it's food coma. So, yep, it escaped me. But again, it's the 90-day boot camp. I'm very excited to work with you. And that was it. God, I told you the coma. For those of you who book this weekend, you get a free half-hour one-on-one consultation with me. That's it. That's your bonus. You get a free one-on-one consultation with me if you book this weekend. Now you get to pick my brain live, and I will do everything I can. Well, in the 90-day bootcamp, I'm going to do everything I can to help you create the business of your dreams. But if you, with this one-on-one call, again, you have access to me live, one-on-one, ask me anything, work on your costing, whatever you want to do, we could do it. And, oh, that was the other thing, and for those of you who booked this live this weekend, you get a free copy of my book. So you get the free copy of my book. Your slot is confirmed for the 90-day bootcamp that starts in January. If you book this weekend for $9.97, and you get a one-on-one consultation with me. So again, take advantage, because this is not going to be around for long, the one-on-ones or the price. So again, thank you so much for being with me today, and I hope that this was helpful to you, and I look forward to seeing you in the boot camp and seeing you in the Facebook group. So be alerted to your email that I will send later today with a replay. I'm like replay. Talking food coma, people, Thanksgiving. Oh, so I will send you the replay of this video with the link also for the for you to reserve your spot for the 90-day bootcamp. I so look forward to seeing you in the course, and you know, I really look forward to helping you with your business dreams and getting you on your way to being the entrepreneur that you always wanted to be. Again, don't let 2016 pass you by without doing what's going to get you on that road. There's so many people who I know they sit on the sidelines and they watch the world go by and see what other people are doing, and it's frustrating to them because they feel like I could have done that, I should have done that. This is your choice. This is the opportunity. Go for it. This is your time. And that's it. This is Tanya with Lorenza Brown Consulting. If you're not already on the list, you make sure that you're on the list to get a replay of this as well as the link. And again, if you're watching this, if somebody shared it and you're not on the list, send me an email at get on the list at www.Lorenza Brown Consulting, and make sure that I get you the link. Just email me. So take care, have a wonderful day, and see you soon.